Alrighty guys, we got to have ourselves a shop talk today. Just got back from vacation and seen a post made by NBC, yeah, and it has to do with cars. And let's jump into this.
This goes way beyond tinted windows and loud car stereo. Some say the latest custom car modification is downright dangerous and could pose a threat to public safety. Tonight, the I-Team's Chris Glorioso takes a look into a bizarre way people change their exhaust system that could set off panic in the streets.
Imagine walking down any crowded city street. Now, close your eyes and imagine hearing this.
I'd freak out. What does it sound like? Gunshots?
I mean, I'd be pretty terrified, to be honest.
That sound is actually coming from the tailpipes of cars. These clips posted on Instagram show something referred to as straight pipe exhaust modifications, a way to make tricked out cars louder and sometimes mimic the sound of gunfire.
That exhaust isn't just a random loud noise in the environment. I mean, it sounds like it is truly mimicking the sound of gunshots.
Eric Pisa.
So first off, they're talking about exhaust systems, okay? And they're talking about straight pipes, all right? And they've got a video of a car that's been straight piped, and it's got a launch control system on it, or a two-step, and we all know what that sounds like. It's popping and cracking and raising immortal Cain. And the news channel is literally, let me state this here real quick, way beyond tinted windows and loud radios. Downright dangerous. And first off the bat, I'm kind of laughing when I'm watching this, and I'm like, is this really news right now? Is this really important? And so I keep watching, and I'm gonna have a video down below. You guys be sure to watch the full thing. But you know, the things that they're saying in this, the terms that they're using, and how they're going about it, basically the whole video, they're using fear tactics to persuade you to think that loud mufflers or straight pipes are dangerous. And they're literally walking around on the street, they're taking a video on their phone, and they're just playing a sound, okay? And they're going up to people and they're like, hey, what does this sound like? And people are going, well, sounds like gunshots. And then you'll have other guys coming like, well, I'm scared to death, that sounds like gunshots. And it's really going to the extreme of just making people think, oh, this is just horrible, you know? And they're showing videos of cars up on two-step, up on the launch control, and fires coming out the exhaust and stuff like that. And I mean, the whole entire video is pretty much like, oh my God, why would you want to do this? This is crazy, you know, I don't understand. And it really hits on the point of, for us streetcar guys, and if you got hot rods, I don't care if it's trucks or if it's motorcycles or you're into imports or whatever it may be, you know, we've got to be careful. I mean, if we don't get on top of this really soon, hopefully it's not already too late, then we're going to be in trouble with what we can drive. And the news is kind of got some of this wrong, meaning that they're thinking it's the straight pipes that's causing this to happen, and they're not talking about the launch control at all. They're not talking about two-step at all. They're not talking about rev limiters at all. It's the pipes that's making this happen, and we've got to stop it. You know, this is so bad, we're scared, you know. And they're basically comparing it to a machine gun. And yes, I understand some of the loud pops, you know, it could probably be confused if you're not used to it. And there's already been some other videos that's popped up that's really gotten out of hand, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But in this particular NBC interview, they do a few tactics I don't agree with. I think it's really unfair, and it really kind of makes me want to point out the fact of, if they're missing some points here that us car guys know, and it's like they're missing this pretty bad, what other things are they missing? And I know I don't get political, I don't like to, I don't put it on Facebook, I don't do political stuff on YouTube, but this is a car post, this is a car video, and it pertains to the car world, and I gotta talk about it for a minute. But guys, we've got to be careful out there. I mean, you got to be respectful. If you're out there on the street and you got something high horsepower, or you got something that's got launch control and that sort of thing, you got to be smart. I mean, we need to be doing stuff at the track and being safe on the street, because they're going to take our stuff away if we ain't careful. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to drive on the street. No, I got 700 cubic inches back here. I want to put this thing on the street too, and not just race it. But I know where you guys are coming from, but we got to be careful. So let's continue on into the video here. So they have a guy come on, and he's like a professor from some college. Who cares? Like, he's important and he knows cars, and this is just dangerous is all he knows. And then they kind of bum rush. It kind of looks like they do anyways. They go to this business, which it kind of looks like a car lot. Maybe it's a shop as well. And they go in and they interview this guy, and they basically just rush in with cameras like, hey, is this at y'all's dealership? Is this, do y'all do this? And it's literally the owner of the car is sitting in there, and he's like, that's my car, and it's a race car. I don't even drive it on the street. What's the problem? You know, and you can tell it looks like he's bum rushed. And I'm just like, I hate reporting it's like that. You know, it's like, don't give this guy time to talk, or don't give this guy any prepared time to just say, hey, this is what's going on. You know, this is my car. Why am I being put on the news? And they're trying to make him look bad. They really are. But in the car world, he probably got some sales because of that, because they're like, oh man, they got some cool cars down there at that place. You know, I mean, the news channels, especially this one, really handled this kind of the wrong way, I felt like. So moving forward, let's talk about another video that has to do with this. And there's a video that's kind of been going pretty viral, and there's this gentleman who's at his garage, okay? And he's working on his car, and he's either working on the two-step or launch control or whatever it is he's doing. Now again, he's at his garage and he's not on the street, okay? And he does a burnout in front of his garage in his own driveway that he owns. Next thing you know, the police are in his driveway and they're asking, where's the machine gun at and who's shooting guns? And
Buddy got gone.
Fucking liar. What's got to do it?
Buddy got to go.
the situation is getting out of control. Now the gentleman who owns the car, you know, he's speaking the whole time in the video, and he's, you know, you can tell there is a language barrier between him and the police. And it's kind of getting out of control pretty quick, but he's like, hey, look, it's my car, you know, it's making a noise. And the police like, that's no car, that is a machine gun. Who's got it? Who are you hiding type deal, you know? And you can tell the police are kind of worried. They're really thinking that somebody is having a bad shootout in that neighborhood. And the gentleman's like, no, it's my car, I'll start it up, I'll show you. So he starts it up, he revs it up, he puts it on the launch control, and you can hear it, or two-step, and it's popping and cracking and throwing flames. And the police are like, you know, they're kind of dumbstruck for a minute, you know. And that's just one example of how things can get out of control really quick. And as hot rodders, we got to be careful, and we got to be smart in using our heads of, you know, where are we doing things at, and you know, you probably should be taking most stuff to the track when you're raising the immortal cane. Just saying. But especially, you know, the thing that blew me away in this video, this guy was at his house working on his race car, and the police came to his garage, you know, and we got to be careful, and especially when police come, you got to be respectful and like, hey, look, this is what's going on. Calm down, put the guns down. No one's here to shoot anybody. And things can get out of control really quick. So basically, what I'm saying, you know, we got to be careful. We need to educate some people on what's going on. You know, the news channels pretty much take things way out of context, and they go insane with it. And we got to be careful. You know, I mean, I don't want our hot rods taken away, and if we're not careful, all of our states are going to end up like California and New York. You're not even allowed to have, you know, a Flowmaster on your car. You know, I mean, it's getting that bad to the point where you're not even allowed to change anything, and that's not cool. That's not the hot rodder way. That's not my way. I don't want that at all. And trust me, you guys know we're building back here. I want to drive it on the street too, and if we're not careful, we're going to lose that. So again, I'm not talking bad against, you know, the Honda guys, the tuner guys, import guys, muscle car guys, any of that stuff, or motorcycles, any of that stuff. I just, man, the biggest thing is we got to be careful out there, because literally this one news channel kind of took this to the extreme and is using fear tactics of like, this is just as dangerous as a machine gun. And I just don't see how this is that important to be on a news channel like that. You know what I mean? I just kind of feel like, are you kidding me right now? But anyways, I want to hear what you guys think. Comment down below. You know, do they need to outlaw it? Do we need to be able to modify mufflers? Do we need to be able to modify our hot rods? I don't know what you guys think. You know my opinion. I want to make it the most extreme as possible, and don't tell me how to build my car type deal, as long as it's safe. But it just, I feel like things like this gets out of hand really quick. We gotta be careful. We gotta step on it early and stay on the up and up. And guys, be safe out there. Do what you're supposed to be doing, and don't get my stuff taken away.